This is Dan of Vagabond Buddha. The picture you're looking at is me in India. I left the United States in 2007. I've traveled to about 64 countries at this time. I first kept track of my travels in a private travel blog, which I'll share with you if you like. But then I started Vagabond Buddha, which gives more information about each place, cost of living, things to do, best places to stay, best restaurants, best way to get there, video walking tour, and the best travel or retire cheap to paradise locations in the world. Just click the link below this video if you'd like more information about this place. Now here's our video. Things to do in Old Town Arequipa, Peru. This is Dan from Vagabond Buddha. Here is the order that I walked to these things to do in Old Town Arequipa suggestions. There is an embedded Google Maps walking tour of these places at the bottom of the web page. Just click the link below this video. First stop, Mercado San Camillo. This is a typical central market that you will find in Peruvian towns. It includes everything you will need to live in Arequipa, such as fruits and vegetables, clothes, and cheap restaurants, houseware. All of the booths are independently owned and operated. Second stop, Museo Santuarios Andinos. The Inca sacrificed children to the mountain gods. They were on a continuous search for the most beautiful 10 to 12-year-old boys and girls. They would dress them up in beautiful clothes and take them to the top of the highest mountain. They would dig a hole in the ground, bash them over the head, and bury them with pottery, gold, and silver. These were offerings to the mountain gods. In this museum, you will see the remains of a girl that was buried 500 years ago, along with the offerings the Incas made to the mountain gods. She is well preserved because she was frozen in ice for 500 years. It's very interesting. Don't take notes as you listen. Every word I say is in writing with Google Map links. Just click the link in the notes below this video. Plaza de Armas. Arequipa was founded in 1540. Of course, there were indigenous people living here then. At that time, construction of the main square and church were begun in Arequipa. Tuturutu is in the center of the water fountain in the center of Plaza de Armas. He was the official messenger of the Inca king. On Plaza de Armas is also Arequipa Cathedral. The Cathedral of Arequipa has been destroyed and rebuilt many times. First built in 1540, or started, it was reduced to rubble by earthquake in 1566. It was rebuilt in 1656, only to be partially destroyed many times over for the next 100 years, until a fire destroyed most of the contents in 1844. If God is sending a message, nobody here seems to be listening, at least with respect to Arequipa Cathedral. But it was rebuilt again, and it's a beautiful sight. You have to see it both inside and out. Next stop, Iglesia de la Campana. The construction of Iglesia de la Campana began in 1590 and was completed in 1698. It's constructed of volcanic rock from the quarries of Misty Volcano. If you look closely at the facade of this church, you will see symbols representing Inca deities, which made it easier for the Catholics to attract the indigenous people to convert. The next stop, Arequipa Restaurant. This is a great little spot to stop for happy hour. It's on a beautiful walking street I wanted you to see on my walking tour, so I'm walking you by this restaurant. The next stop, Paseo Mercaderes. This is a great shopping area and a great way to see some of the post-independence architecture that sprung up during the economic success that Arequipa has enjoyed relative to other parts of Peru because of its higher standard of living and universities. Additionally, this will lead you to one of the next stops on the walking tour. So I wanted to walk you down this market street. The next stop is Museo de Santa Teresa. This colonial era convent is now a museum with hundreds of works of art and beautiful gardens. It is remarkable how few tourists were here despite its beauty and significance. The next stop is Barrio de San Lazaro. The winding streets in this area of Arequipa are where Europeans first started to settle before the Plaza de Armas and the Arequipa Cathedral were built. This is my favorite area of Arequipa, very beautiful. Next stop, Monastery de Santa Catalina. This is the most important thing to see in Arequipa. Possibly rivals the Cathedral of Arequipa, or maybe is even more important. The Santa Catalina Monastery was built in 1579. About 20 nuns still live in the northern corner of the monastery, and the rest of this massive property is now a tourist attraction. The second daughter of only wealthy families would be allowed to enter the monastery if her family could afford to pay 2,400 silver coins, valued today at about 150,000 US dollars. And that was just for entry, and then there was monthly also. Each nun was also expected to bring slaves to the monastery to cook and clean for her. In 1871, almost 50 years after slaves had been freed in Peru, the Pope ordered the nuns to set their slaves free. The Pope also took the cash the monastery had collected from the nuns. The monastery is a top tourist attraction of Arequipa and costs about 40 soles for entry, which is about $16. You must take the tour and take the optional 1-hour guided English tour for 20 soles for the group, which is another $8 roughly. Next, not on the tour, but Cusco Canyon. This is not on the city tour, I should say. This is 7 hours from Arequipa by minivan. Thus, it's not included in the Google Maps walking tour. This canyon is twice as deep as the Grand Canyon in the US. At the canyon, you will also see one of the largest flying birds in the world, the Cusco Canyon condor. It has a 3-meter wingspan. I recommend seeing this canyon on your way to Lake Titicaca. I provided a link to see the deal we purchased to Cusco Canyon. If you book a tour using the link I recommend, you'll pay nothing extra, but I'll make a small commission. The tour is quite reasonable, and it will drop you in Lake Titicaca for your next recommended destination. Party the night away. There's a link here. Stop in for a beer in the party area along Calle Zella, which is the street that runs along San Francisco Park. Again, there's a Google Map link for all of these. Finally, best sunset. The best place to watch the sunset is at a bar restaurant called The Rooftop. I couldn't find it on Google Maps, but it's next door to this link that I'm providing you on our webpage. On the webpage, you'll also find a number of tours that you can take out of Arequipa. Just click the link and pick a tour if that's interesting to you. If you want to learn how to live and or make work internationally without having a conventional job, please grab a free copy of my ebook on our webpage. And finally, here's the Google map for my Old Town Arequipa walking tour. Just come to the webpage and get your map and start walking. Make sure to buy a Peruvian SIM card, Claro or Movistar, when you arrive in Peru, and load it with internet data so you can use my Google Maps without paying international roaming rates. Thanks for listening to our video. If you enjoyed the video, please click like, leave a comment below, subscribe to Vagabond Buddha, or click the link below in the notes below this YouTube video to find out more about this location or all of the Travel Cheap to Paradise locations on Vagabond Buddha. Thank you.